Dean Hachem, Reinventing Life 1. Pivot at a time. Dean Hachem's story doesn't follow a straight line. It weaves through different countries, industries, and turning points. From Lebanon to Kuwait, then to the United States, his journey is one shaped by change, risk, and curiosity. Now based in Detroit, Michigan, Dean has spent his life learning how to adapt and how to turn new challenges into new chapters. I didn't expect to stay in the US, Dean says. My plan was to go back to Kuwait after finishing school. But I fell in love with the energy here. It just felt right. Dean moved to the US to study engineering at the University of Michigan. He liked solving problems and thinking logically. But after school, something shifted. He realized that his future might not be in engineering after all. I was always drawn to food, he says. It's what brings people together, so I followed that instinct. In the 1990s, Dean opened the Chic restaurant in West Bloomfield, Michigan. The restaurant quickly became known for its quality and consistency. But for Dean, it was more than just food. It was about creating a space where people felt at home. The restaurant was a place where people could connect. Dean explains, I wanted it to feel like family. Running a restaurant wasn't easy. Dean had to deal with long hours, changing tastes, and rising costs. But he stayed committed. He learned how to manage staff, adjust to trends, and keep customers coming back. You can't get stuck in one way of doing things, he says. You have to be willing to evolve. In 2001, Dean made a major shift. He moved from street-side restaurants to airport food and beverage services. The airport industry was fast-paced and full of rules, but Dean saw it as a new challenge. It was a different world, he says, but at the core, it was still hospitality. It was still about serving people. For over 20 years, Dean worked in airport food operations. He managed logistics, handled staffing, and made sure travelers had a good dining experience before takeoff. It wasn't glamorous, but it was high pressure, and he liked the pace. Travelers don't have time to waste, he says. So your service has to be fast, clean, and reliable. That teaches you how to run things tight. Dean's ability to shift from restaurants to airport dining came down to one thing: being open to change. You can't be afraid to start over, he says. It's not really starting from zero. You bring everything you've learned with you. Dean didn't plan each step of his career. Instead, he followed what made sense in the moment, trusting his instincts and learning as he went. That mindset, what he calls staying curious, has been key to his success. Every job I've had has taught me something, he says. Even the ones that didn't work out still gave me tools for the next one. He's quick to admit that he didn't always get it right. There were missteps and failures along the way, but Dean sees those moments as part of the process. People like to say, failure is just a lesson, he says, but sometimes it's just failure. What matters is whether you bounce back. Even though Dean didn't stay in engineering, he values what he learned in school. The structure, the problem solving, and the mindset of building solutions all stayed with him. Engineering taught me how to think, he says, and that's something I've used in every business I've been in. Family has also been a guiding force. Dean sees a lot of overlap between managing a business and managing a family. Trust, patience, and communication. You have to take care of your people, he says. That goes for your team and your family. And through it all, Dean's passion for food hasn't faded. Cooking is still his favorite way to unwind. It keeps him grounded. Cooking makes me focus, he says. It's just you and the meal. It brings me peace. Now that he's stepped away from the airport industry, Dean is reflecting on the next chapter. He's not sure what it will be yet, but he's not done growing. I'll always be building something, he says. Once you have that entrepreneurial spirit, it never really leaves you. For anyone thinking about making a big change, Dean has simple advice. Listen to yourself. Trust your gut, but don't rush, he says, and never stop learning. Dean Hackem's life is a story of reinvention, of following where curiosity leads, and not being afraid to pivot when the time is right. From Lebanon to Detroit, from engineering to restaurants to airport operations, his path is proof that success doesn't have to follow a script. You just have to be open to what's next. Dean says, "You never know where it might take you,